black crosses, black crosses, black crosses, crosses, black crosses, the team nauseous.
Off the rip, I'm pretty sure Magneto is going to win. One, because obviously, Marvel. And two, because, bro, it's fucking Magneto. The things I see him doing, like, movies and shit, this nigga has fucking... First of all, wait a minute, isn't he immune to, like, isn't he immune to, like, telekinesis and shit like that? Like, ain't he immune to, like, his mind getting, like, you know what I mean? If that's the case, I mean, I personally don't see how Tetsuo is going to beat him, because, like, I don't know. But we'll see, bro. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Magneto got this, but we'll see.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by HelloFresh and Bespoke Post. Magneto, Marvel's mutant master of magnetism.
Tetsuo Shima, Akira's telekinetic terror of Neo-Tokyo.
These two maestros of kinesis have ignited revolution not just in their worlds, but also the very mediums they exist within.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
In the short duration of modern civilization, likely no conflict tested humanity more than the Second World War. In the primary Marvel 616 universe, this fact is no different, especially to the Eisenhower family and their only son.
You may know him as Magnus, or Max,
not
but if you ask him, he'd say his true name is Magneto.
As a Jewish child in Nazi Germany, Magneto's early life was, extremely traumatic.
Alright, let's look at the stats real quick. Max Eisenhart, Eric Lenzer, Magnus. He's 6'2", weighs 190 pounds, Omega level mutant, which means this nigga's like the power, the strongest of the strongest type of shit. Groups Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, X-Men, Hellfire Club. Dislikes discrimination, Nazis, wooden guns. Okay, so Magneto's a W man then. Magneto is, he is a W man. W man's for real.
Even
Flash be mod? No, Waki. No.
After eventually escaping certain death with his future wife, misfortune always followed wherever he went.
Thanks to his unexpected mutation called the X gene, the mark of a superhuman. After settling down in Russia with his new family, the KGB quickly found out about this quirk. So they burned his house down
Akira.
with his own daughter inside.
Naturally, he snapped and killed them all. I don't blame him. I'd do that too. Too bad his wife didn't get it and ditched him though. But that's when Magneto made a choice. Since humans hurt him his entire life, he'd do the same to them in the name of mutants everywhere.
At first, Magneto turned to the telepathic powerhouse Charles Xavier and his fledgling team of heroes. But his new friend wasn't thrilled with the idea of, subjugating the human race. Magneto formed his own team of mutants, the Brotherhood.
Magneto can telekinetically move, bend, and reach.
So let's look at his, let's see. Magnekinesis, flight, magnetic barriers, energy manipulation and absorption. God damn. Biological manipulation, matter manipulation. God damn, nigga! Extrasensory perception, gravity manipulation, telepathy and mind resistance, astral projection, wormhole create. He has it, bro. He has it, bro. Thank you for streaming. Thank you, Mexer. Thank you for showing up. There is no way in hell Magneto loses these. There's no way in hell he loses this. He's not losing this, bro.
Shape any metal he's
impossible.
Aware of. Bullets, vehicles, buildings, you
impossible
name it. Even
this.
Himself when he manipulates his personal magnetic field for flight and energy barriers.
Magnetic kinesis is far more versatile than it would appear at first glance. The blood in your body has iron in it. The air has traces of lead and mercury. Whole mountains are lined with metallic ore. The earth itself is surrounded by a literal magnetic field.
So many toys for Maggie to play with. He can detect magnetic fields at such a huge range, he can even pinpoint Earth's magnetic rays while stranded on a planet in another galaxy.
OP.
And guess what? He was able to use those rays to pull himself back to Earth in a single day.
His range is even more remarkable than that. Did you know that in 1820, physicist Hans Christian Ørsted discovered that electric currents, like those of electrons and protons and atoms, produce their own magnetic fields? Magneto can fine-tune his control to affect these very subatomic particles. Dummy here will illustrate such a particle, with positively charged protons and negative electrons.
My life is as meaningless as an atom is small.
So what you're saying is Magneto could, like, yank one of those out?
Correct, potentially changing an atom's entire chemical makeup. However, neutrons do not have a charge, and without the ability to adjust those to accommodate the change in atomic mass, the atom would become unstable and... do that.
Science, guys, science.
Magneto's violent protest against humankind clashed with Xavier's peaceful reconciliation, not unlike the ideologies taught by Malcolm X and Dr. King, by whom Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were inspired. Magneto would spend most of his career pushing Xavier away to prove his philosophies superior, which meant doing battle with Xavier's school of thought, quite literally.
And Baldy's mind powers are no joke, but thanks to Magneto's psionic repelling helmet, Professor X couldn't touch him. Magneto survived Cyclops.
Bro, there's no way he wins. There's no way he loses his fight, bro. The fact he has that helmet alone, not even just the helmet, but like, bro, let's all be real here. Pulled the break world bullet at near light speed, flew between galaxies in a short time frame, punched Iron Man with the force of a sun, overpowered Hercules and Thor's hammer, ripped apart Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, survived the miniaturized neutron star bullet. Bro, look at this resume. Oh my god. Resisted mental attacks from Professor X and Emma Frost. Defeated X-Men Avengers. Red Skull Yeah, bro. Okay, man. Alright, man.
Splitting lasers.
Alright,
Absorbed
man.
the power of the sun to battle
Alright,
Iron Man.
bro.
Ripped the adamantium skeleton out of Wolverine's body. And even taken on Hercules himself. You know, the Greek legend, Zero to Hero? The guy who held up the skies of Olympus for Atlas? That Hercules.
Seems sensible. Magneto once used the Earth's magnetic field to overwhelm the Phoenix Force, which can effortlessly destroy planets, let alone far more.
Hell, if he really wanted to, Magneto could totally just fling the Earth off its axis.
It's entirely possible he may have eventually resorted to just that. Over time, it became clear Magneto's war was doing far more harm than good for his fellow mutants, however well-intentioned he may have been at first.
Luckily, he later realized he was
What's
going a
up?
bit
Niggas
overboard
young,
and
when
began
niggas all these different
reevaluating his
characters? I have
perspective.
no clue.
Good for you, Mags. It's really tough to recognize when you're the baddie.
It took time and patience not just from Magneto, but also from his peers. Yet eventually, his path was completely changed. He even became a leader for Xavier's X-Men.
But don't let his new goody two-shoes ways fool you. Whenever there's a threat to mutants, you can bet Magneto will be there to annihilate it. Forever, by any means necessary.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by HelloFresh.
With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh,
Oh
pre-portioned
my god,
ingredients
guys.
and seasonal recipes
Hello
delivered right
Fresh.
to your doorstep.
Skip trips to the grocery store and
Oh
count
my
on
god,
HelloFresh to
where we
make
at?
home
We
cooking
got
easy,
sponsored by
fun,
them,
and
chat?
affordable.
Oh my
That's why
god.
it's America's #1 meal.
HelloFresh now has 30 dinner recipes
No,
to choose from
because
every
they
single
make money
week.
off of
That's
it.
the most choices of
Yes,
any
sir,
meal kit.
7 months.
Foolproof
Frequency
step-by-step
dangerous
recipes
muscle,
mean a
boy.
joyful
WD
cooking
sub,
experience
man.
and a stress-free summer. Plus,
WD
HelloFresh cuts
sub.
back on time spent in the kitchen with
Okay.
definitely save
No more.
fresh.
16
No more.
HelloFresh.
Over
Stop it.
30 years ago, a new type of bomb was set off over Tokyo, and 9 hours later began the Third World War.
Welcome to 2030, or 2019 if you're watching the anime. The buildings are taller, the motorcycles are cooler,
2019, but in the manga it was 2030. Oh, well, okay. Well.
and the future is brighter.
This has already happened then, guys.
Oh, wait, not really. If you find yourself in the capsule gang, you'll meet Shotaro Kaneda, who's like your textbook anime Chad. Gets the ladies, beats the baddies, and cops the sweetest rigs. Man, I need to get me one of those.
Yeah, 3 years
And
ago.
then
Yep.
there's the little brother of the group, Kaneda's best friend, Tetsuo Shima. He's, well,
The exact opposite. A total wimp. As a kid, Tetsuo in his college
Age 19. Nigga's 5'4"? 103 pounds. Esper number 41. Ex-Capsule gang member. Ex-Clown gang leader. Dictator of the illustrious Great Tokyo Empire.
Thesis forehead got bullied for being the new kid at the orphanage. That's until Big Bro Kaneda came
Nigga's
to
already
the rescue.
dead, bro.
eventually the two went to vocational school together and formed the Capsules. But Tetsuo was never satisfied with Kaneda being the leader of the pack. Tetsuo desired more than anything to be top dog.
Oh, I can just see that monkey's paw curling in my mind. Or that kid walking down the street. Tetsuo, watch out, you're gonna... That definitely should have killed him. But since it didn't, Tetsuo earned himself a ticket to military confinement. Turns out they had an under-the-table program for developing child superweapons.
In the same program that backfired and jump-started the war, Tetsuo became Japan's Esper number 41.
He may not have been a natural with bikes, baddies, or babes, but this telekinesis stuff hit different.
I'll take Tetsuo,
He walked
bro.
out of that hospital ward effortlessly flying, reading minds, and blending people into strawberry jelly. Tetsuo got what he wanted. Power, along with the hunger for more of it.
A hunger that used to only be satiated with drugs. And not just any gateway drug, pills so potent that a single gram of the stuff could kill you.
So, pretty bad. Kinda reminds me of college days, huh, Snow Wizard?
Tetsuo's main ability is his constantly increasing psionic energy, growing more and more powerful over time. This is due to Tetsuo's link to, quote, the memories of the universe, end quote. It's weird.
Either way, Tetsuo leveled up from...
Espers take advantage of the flow of universal energy created by the Big Bang. Its destructive nature is in part due to promoting humanity's evolution.
Lame gangbuster to certified badass. This guy is a walking natural disaster. His telekinesis can shake the planet, easily cause earthquakes over a dozen miles below the surface. He can summon psychic barriers for defense and crush foes with friggin' gravity wells. He can dart around as a literal bolt of lightning or even teleport in an instant.
Tetsuo's telekinesis can be so precise he can target and obliterate specific parts of the body. He can heal severe wounds quickly, but even after losing a whole limb, he can craft a new one using whatever nearby materials he wants.
With these powers, Top Dog Kaneda didn't matter anymore. Who needed his approval? Tetsuo tasted that good shit and he was hooked. And when he found out another Esper named Akira could deal him even more power, he rampaged through Tokyo to find him.
And this is where versions of the story differ.
Spoilers ahoy!
You may be familiar with the 1988 animation, where Akira had been dissected for research. However, in the original manga, Akira is not only alive, but even more powerful.
Once that little runt nuked Tokyo, Tetsuo would erect the Great Tokyo Empire with Akira and himself as its leaders. But he ended up just abusing the position for endless sex and inflating his ego.
With Kaneda's rebellion at his front door.
Wait, what?
Using the position for endless sex and inflating his ego.
With Kaneda's rebellion at his front door, Tetsuo took a turn for the worse. He had to fight.
Tetsuo's defeated other powerful Espers.
Let's see. Caused an 8.5 magnitude earthquake, obliterated an SOL satellite, cratered the moon, can destroy Earth 100 times over. What? Dodged light speed lasers, leaped to the moon faster than sight, survived multiple nuclear laser blasts, defeated Lady Miyako, US Navy fleet. So yeah, apparently he can destroy the Earth 100 times over. I actually got Magneto winning.
Dodged light speed lasers and jumped to the moon faster than anyone could blink, and then punched a big old hole in it. And if you ask, Boomerstick, wouldn't that mess up gravity on Earth? You would be right, because it totally did. Screwed the planet, I guess. Stupid moon.
Which brings us to Tetsuo's
Given the smaller crater Tetsuo left on the ground, he did not teleport to the moon. He must have traveled there in about 13 milliseconds, average image processing speed for a human.
folly. His abuse of his powers spiraled until he lost control. Unfortunately for Kaneda's rebellion, this did not make Tetsuo an easier enemy to confront. Exactly opposite, in fact, as Tetsuo painfully mutated into an unstoppable behemoth.
Yep, that's not totally disturbing at all.
I'm happy to say the manga's version is even more disturbing.
I mean, I know babies can be monsters, but that's a whole nother level.
It is pain incarnate.
If I
can relate. Another Esper described
Magneto still winning,
Tetsuo's
though.
struggle
I see
as
it.
ego death, which has multiple definitions, but in this case is likely symbolic of the version attributed to
Oh, it's good,
drug
Honcho.
use.
I see you, bro.
Yeah,
It's
it's
good.
described as a shedding of one's own identity, like how LSD can emulate a wild out-of-body experience, and you come back with a new perspective. Though this is maybe a little more extreme. In fact, you could say Tetsuo was shedding his human body to play with the powers of a god.
I wish I could shed out of my body. But in this case, Tetsuo going full out of body meant becoming a mound of raw, ever-expanding energy.
Which almost nuked Tokyo all over again. And those explosions are not normal. I would know.
Top scientists in both the manga and animated versions describe these explosions as births of a new universe.
Given its properties
What?
of nuclear fusion and proton collapse, Tetsuo's mutated form was likely creating a Big Bang.
You know, the thing that started our whole universe?
What the f?
In In the manga, it instead ended the Espers and their abilities once and for all, a testament that humankind is unsuited to wield the powers of the divine.
Though the anime's even more trippy. Thanks to Akira and his buddies, Tetsuo got so high on ego death, he ascended time-space to become god of a new universe. Kinda worth it, right?
Tetsuo obtained omniscience, or omniscient, or omniscient, how do you pronounce that? Not canon to the original manga, it cannot be applied in arbitrary level of power.
And yet, Canada kept his empire up in his honor. Now is the great Akira Empire.
Got it.
Ironically,
Okay, I didn't know he's on top of
Tetsuo
timing. I ain't gonna
finally
lie to
received
you.
the attention he
I
so
did not realize he was that
desperately
powerful.
craved.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Bespoke Post.
Take your summer adventures
I
to
don't
the
know,
next level.
Chat, y'all
with
think they might have
Bespoke
a
Post,
mutant character
the new
for him?
seasonal lineup of must-have
Is there a
months
mutant
of
character
awesome
for
collections.
Akira?
Bespoke Post
not
partners
Akira,
with small
Tetsuo?
businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique every month, like the Carnivore Box, which has this amazing American
Box of has everything
the right price.
awesome is from 20% off
Cool.
checkout.
.com code
Nice.
The data
Nice.
all right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Even in Japan, they fail to recognize our superiority.
Wrong country,
Yeah, Beverly
Grandpa!
is a
You're an
lot.
Akira turf now! You're dead meat!
Impudent child!
The hell are you calling child? I make the rules around here!
You're wasting my time. Parlor tricks for the master of magnetism.
Oh shit.
I'll kill you!
Oh,
Your history, scumbag!
what the f?
I believe
Oh, that's tough!
tantrums to last a lifetime.
Oh,
Listen, welcome! I'll handle this on my own! Not weak!
oh.
Hurts. Help me.
Wait.
Child.
Wait, what? Wait, what just happened?
Thank you.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you.
You are welcome.
Bro, why is Death Battles getting more and more deep? You know what I mean? Like, why is like an actual storyline going on with these Death Battles? Yeah. How do you fight though?
I'm never doing that again.
Tetsuo's esoteric telekinesis and other.
Let's look at this. Stronger, faster, tougher. Magnetic kinesis counter Tetsuo's offense. Magnetic senses counter Tetsuo's mobility, but he's inferior healing options. Tetsuo could eventually grow more powerful. Tetsuo, on the other hand, could kill Magneto without his shield. Telekinesis had a broader range of effect, though his application was less versatile. Overexertion risked of bodily harm. Far less combat and tactical experience. All makes sense. All makes sense.
Other bizarre abilities certainly gave Magneto pause, but the Master of Magnetism had greater control over his foe.
The numbers don't lie. Tetsuo cratering the moon was insane, but Magneto punched Iron Man with the force of the sun. And while Tetsuo jumped all the way to the moon, Magneto could move across galaxies.
Against Tetsuo in his human form, Magneto obviously held a sizable advantage in power and speed.
But stats aren't all that matters. With his precise telekinesis, Tetsuo could just target
I thought it was
Magneto's
over after
orbit.
that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right?
Yes, but Magneto.
But this is fire. I ain't gonna lie, this is
there
fire.
are very few substances on Earth that lack any metallic or magnetic component, and Magneto is very creative with his powers.
Which he could use to
Bro.
predict Tetsuo's teleportation
Blood?
and even shut down his telekinesis. And his scraps with Xavier prove he could handle Tetsuo's messing with his head. The biggest challenge for Magneto was when Tetsuo's gross mutated power came into play.
Especially given how the detonations from this form were compared to that of a Big Bang. Although the authenticity of that observation is questionable. In truth, the Big Bang was a sudden expansion of matter on a universal scale, whereas Tetsuo's explosions are more akin to nuclear blasts, clearly intentional given the post-war symbolism of the Akira story.
The whole creating an alternate universe bit wasn't even part of the original material, so we can't exactly call it canon.
But let's just say the comparison wasn't superfluous. Let's say Tetsuo did in fact cause a Big Bang capable of creating or destroying an entire universe, alternate or otherwise.
Turns out Magneto had the tools to stop that too. Helmet Head could overpower Hercules, who was strong enough to hold up the skies of Olympus, which is literally heaven and an alternate universe.
This doesn't necessarily mean Magneto could easily destroy a universe with a snap of his fingers, but it does prove he can match a similar level of power. And context is everything. Tetsuo's Big Bang eruption specifically exhibited proton collapse,
Batman beating
meaning its
both.
atomic structure was primarily an unstable mess of neutrons and electrons. And Magneto has detected and commanded unstable electrons before. This means Magneto had every means available to take control over this Big Bang.
Damn, and I thought he could just move some metal around. It's like the question posed by some of the greatest prophets of our time. Fucking magnets. How do they even work?
Magneto's astonishing power and intelligent control over all things magnetism triumphed in the end.
Tetsuo pushed his luck, but didn't have the metal to pull off the win.
The winner is Magneto.
Basically, W fight.
Thank you for watching this episode. If you'd like to directly support the whole Death Battle team, click that join button and consider becoming a member. We'd really appreciate it.
Who's next?
Hope you like the next one.
Hercules versus Sun Wukong. They're not talking about Disney Hercules, right? They're talking about like the actual like Marvel Hercules. I always wanted to RKO you. Cool. Not gonna happen, but cool. I don't know where Sun Wukong is from either, so I don't know. If Magneto kills Tetsuo, he would likely kill Wiz and Booster for having both of his children killed by DC characters. Batman can't be beat. Correction. Batman can't be beat with prep time. With prep time, he cannot be beat. On sight though, with no knowledge of his enemy, Batman is getting his ass worked. Simple as that. Simple.